Welcome to the Sideline Podcast. Got some fresh faces here this evening. Just get 1 second. Yeah, my name is Kevin Showalter. My co-host Jared Booker has dipped off for a faraway land. He's sipping margaritas on a beach somewhere, so we replaced him with you two gentlemen this evening. But yeah, excited to have you guys on the show. We have Crew Talks here in the middle. Evan from Crew Talk Sports, huge Broncos fan. They do a lot of stuff on their podcast with like gambling, odds, that type of thing. Us out here in Washington is still not legal, so we just get to watch you guys have all the fun. And we're going to be announcing in a little bit, but we're partnering up with their podcast to just make sure my stream is good. Sorry about that, real professional there. But yeah, we're partnering up on a Campus2Canton league and going to use some of both of our minds, both of our followers. And yeah, it should be a fun thing. So more information on that in a bit. You can follow them on X. As it at Crew Talk Sports, I should have written that down.
Yes, sir. Yep, at Crew Talk Sports. Yeah.
You can also follow at Trillo Bets and then EV Vinyls as well, and subscribe to their podcast on Spotify. We also have Tyler here on the right, my right, maybe your left, but now you're looking at this. But Mr. Diesel on X. What's the Mr. Diesel from? You just like diesel trucks, or what? What is that?
No, it's a gamer tag that slowly developed over time. So when I was younger, I was a big Vin Diesel and The Rock fan. So it used to be Samoan Diesel for a bit. Then I got married, got some kids, and then I was like, well, now I got to just change it to Mr. So, and then 31, Mr. Diesel 31, because Reggie Miller, he was my hero growing up. We'll get into that later when we talk about the Pacers. So then that's how it kind of stuck. So.
Yeah.
Now that I'm the old man still trying to hang with these young gamers, I had to put the Mister on there so they know they're dealing with an old timer.
That's right. Still taking them to school. So, well, yeah, thank you guys for jumping on this evening. Without further ado, here we have, give me 1 second. Booker, we miss you running graphics if you're listening to this. But all right, so I've got some trivia for both of you guys to your. Hit you right where you. That graphic's a little. Can you guys see that? Okay, it might be just.
Yep.
All right, so we've got. What year did the Pacers first make the NBA Finals? A 2000, B 2001, C 1989, or D 1973?
Oh man, I have no idea. I'm not even gonna bullshit with you guys.
And this one's for Diesel as well.
You
can feel free to answer it.
2000. Reggie Miller finally, the Knicks were out of the way. Jordan was out of the way. Finally got over the hill, only to run into Kobe and Shaq at their prime. And unfortunately, the dunking Dutchman Rick Smits could not contain Shaq. Dale gave his best at it as well, but in the end, they got us. It was unfortunate, but that was 2000 when they were there.
That is correct. Speaking of Diesel, that was, Shaq was unstoppable. So, all right, then we got one here for you, Evan, a little more for the Broncos love. Anybody listening? All right, who was the coach, keyword here, that led the Broncos to their first Super Bowl? Was it A, Lou Saban, B, Red Miller, C, Mike Shanahan, or D, Vic Fangio?
Okay, I hope Broncos fans don't murder me if I get this wrong, but I'm gonna go with Red Miller.
That is correct.
Let's go.
There we go. If you guys following trivia for very long here, but Booker will oftentimes give me one from like 1917 Leatherheads, like who ran for 4 touchdowns, and it's just like, come on, man, I have no idea.
You just got to close your eyes and pick one, dude.
That's right. All right, so we're gonna move along here into some Stanley Cup. To be honest, I have to follow my sword. I've not been watching these full games, and that's definitely going to stop come game 3 because this series has been incredible. Are you guys big hockey fans? I think both of you follow along hockey pretty well. Have you been following this series, watching the games?
Yeah. I've seen it here and there. I'm not a big hockey fan. Being in Indiana, nothing truly to follow. Blackhawks up there in Chicago, about the closest to us. Yeah. So, but D-Butt from the Pat McAfee show, Darius Butler, is a Florida guy and a Panthers guy. So I have to root there and continue to assume they're going to continue to pick it up and get the win here.
Yeah. Both games have gone to overtime. I think the last one went double overtime. Is that correct? And so I guess you can change your answer now because nobody will know. But who did you guys pick before this series? You said maybe Tyler, you were riding with Panthers. Which way are you leaning on this one, Evan?
I'm leaning Oilers, man. I just think that I think it's time that McDavid gets over the hump. He hoists the cup.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all these, arguments about who's the best in the NHL. Is it him? Is it Nathan McKinnon with the Avalanche? I mean, it can go both ways, but I just think they're so due, dude. They're so due. Panthers won it last year. It's hard to repeat. This is going to go 6 or 7 games, but I got the Oilers in the end.
Yeah. I think I'm leaning that. I mean, I'd mentioned a couple weeks ago, it's going to be good for hockey either way because the Panthers will have a chance at a three-peat. The Oilers, your best player winning a cup is only good for the league. So this is a little bit risky where we're going next, but we are going to let Tyler, our Pacers fan, we're going to transition here to some NBA. I will give you the floor we might have to cut you off after a minute or so, but feel free to let us know how you're feeling about your Pacers.
I will keep it brief. I've been, like I said, we already covered it in the 2000. I know a lot about that team. Reggie Miller was my hero growing up. So it's been a long road to get back to the NBA Finals, but it's a complete team. I think you saw that. You never know who's going to step up and when they're going to step up at the end of that game. Yet again, with another big comeback, it was basically everyone. Nemhard locked up SGA big time and then hit a huge three. You had Miles Turner banking a three in. It still counted, still got in. Naismith hits a three there at the end. Pascal Siakam gets a rebound off an air ball from Nemhard and puts it right back in. And then Halliburton, the most insane clutch run of a playoffs I have ever seen. And Reggie Miller was my hero, and he was up on that graphic with Halliburton with the number of clutch shots that he's hitting. It's unbelievable. I also shared a thing on X from D-Wade where D-Wade was talking about when you're not in rhythm, when the game is not coming to you and you're struggling, how hard it is to step up in that type of moment and have that calmness to hit that shot. And called him a cold, certain mother effort. And I think it's true. And I don't think you can say it any better for what Halliburton has done this playoff run. We stole the first one. OKC is still a stacked team. So it's by no means series over or anything like that. I expect them to come out swinging in the second game, but I look forward to those home games in Indiana and see what happens in game 2. They're if they keep it close for the Pacers, it's 10 to 15 points. Let's see what a young OKC team can do when the pressure's on. And not only that, I think the Pacers have earned the respect that when that game is getting close in the end, that they're making the other team nervous at this point. There's enough history now to say, uh-oh. And I think you could see that some on OKC's young team in the first game, and we'll see if we can make it happen again in the second game.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I mean, you got to be scared to death to play this team. Like, I've been watching it throughout the playoffs, and it just – you expect them to make the comeback at this point. And it's crazy that Hallie finished with 14 points. Like, you often hear guys talk about, hey, you need to be in rhythm, like seeing the ball go through the net throughout the game. So to have 11 points, barely take any shots, and then still knock it down, it's wild, man. So you're riding with who are you picking for tomorrow? Obviously, you're not going to pick the Thunder as a homer. Do you think the Pacers could go up 2-0 in this series?
I think they could go up 2-0. If you also look at the history, it seems they like to go up 2-0 and then unfortunately take a bit of a nap in game 3 coming out the gates. We've consistently in the Cavs series gave up game 3. In the Knicks series gave up game 3. For some reason, game 3 is our kryptonite. I'm not sure why. So I actually like him again in game 2. If this was game 3 at home, I'd be more worried. But again, I do think they come out. OKC comes out a lot better. But Dort was hitting some big shots there for 3. I think went 5 for 5 maybe there to start the game with the 3-pointers. But then you look at his history, that's usually not there. So I would expect it to balance out a little bit. So I think it's going to be more of a close game, a back and forth this time. And then we'll see what happens in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, man, without a doubt. All right, let's let's keep it moving here into some NFL stuff. I think the big news of the day, we got old Aaron Rodgers. This is the worst kept secret in the NFL that he was gone. Was there ever a doubt? I guess there was the retirement doubt, but he wasn't going to sign with the Saints or any other team. This seemed like as soon as they signed DK Metcalf, you see them working out in the offseason. Like this was going to happen. And so really, I don't have it on the screen here, but only 13.65 is what Adam Schefter was reporting, 10 million guaranteed.
Nice.
If he's anywhere close to a top 10 to 15 quarterback, like that's an absolute bargain, if he stays healthy. So what are any thoughts on Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers?
I mean, I love it for the fantasy stock of DK Metcalf, Pat Freiermuth, and Caleb Johnson. I still think they're probably going to win 9 or 10 games, probably. I mean, with that defense, and Mike Tomlin. But, dude, I don't know, man. It was just a complete dumpster fire with the Jets. So,
yeah.
I mean, could we see Will Howard this season? I mean, that's in play. Yeah. So
I saw something of it was like the gif with the barbecue chicken like falling off the bone, and it was Myles Garrett seeing Aaron Rodgers twice a year this year. So, yeah, I put in my notes here as well. They are probably still very likely to win 9 to 11 games. I do think he helps if he's healthy in the playoffs. I think it helps their chances in the playoffs. They have a really good defense, and if you have a quarterback who's not turning the ball over, it's going to give them a shot. So let's go here a little closer to your heart, Tyler. Got Anthony Richardson, a little bit of news this week. Again, I'm not a super indie follower, but I have here not great for a quarterback battle when you go down with a hurt shoulder this early. So what are your thoughts? Is this battle over before it even gets started, or you think Anthony Richardson still has a chance to be the Colts starter?
I am sticking with Anthony Richardson. I've been a believer. I understand why people's doubts are coming in, and they're completely understandable. I've been straightforward with the rest of the Colts fan base that your worries, the stress that you're feeling about him being QB1 is understandable. There is worry there, but I think there is a little bit that needs to be added to it. The way Anthony Richardson needs reps at the QB position is the exact same as Steichen needs reps with a PR person. Someone has got to start to prep Steichen about what he's going to say. Steichen comes out, we don't know the timeline. Maybe back by training camp, and turns a molehill into a gigantic mountain. And he's done this before. He tries to play things so close to the vest. He wants zero information out there. He's trying to keep it all in-house. But then you have Fowler coming out the next day saying it's inflammation. It's just pain in the AC joint from the surgery. He's been going super hard this offseason. Reports saying that he's throwing hundreds of balls a day, has been working on his mechanics. And so he's had a lot of reps on that shoulder. So it looks like it is just inflammation from the surgery, which is very common. And from the standpoints I've read from doctors on X or so-called, that worked in sports medicine, saying that this is very common with an AC joint repair from surgery and lots of, stress on it from throwing over and over again. And he will be a full go to start training camp, which is very different from what Steichen said. So if he's missing next week's minicamp, yes, that is a problem. Yes, he needs those reps. However, if this is just inflammation and soreness and rest is just what he needs because he's been working so hard on his mechanics, then I believe he comes out as QB1 if he is starting that training camp. If it's true, more towards Steichen, and he's late into that training camp, then unfortunately for my hopes and dreams, Daniel Jones probably is looking at the QB1 position as his to lose.
And this photo with him lingering there in the background, I think that's the contract that they gave him, to me, says Anthony has a very short leash. And so this might not be them pulling the leash out, but it can only help him to be healthy enough to go in OTAs. What were you going to say there, Evan?
I'm just going to say, is my man going to get LASIK, or is he just going to wear goggles all the time? I don't know what's the goggles.
We're rocking the goggles.
Hey, the LASIK worked for Jameis Winston after he had that 30 for 30 season. So I'm just saying.
Right. That's right. All right. little one closer to home here. So we got some smiles from the Denver Broncos. I've posted a YouTube video not too long ago on AFC West predictions, and I think this is the year that somebody dethrones the Chiefs in the West. It's too good of a division for teams to keep losing to the Chiefs. Give me your reasons here, Evan. Why are the Broncos? Because I think it could be the Chargers or the Broncos. The Raiders are interesting just because of Pete Carroll, the system, Genty, Geno. Like they will be respectable. But I think it's going to come down to the Broncos or the Chargers. I could be persuaded either way. But give me a reason why the Broncos are going to win the AFC West this year.
Well, I agree with you. I mean, right now the leader in the clubhouse has got to be the Chargers because they swept the Broncos last year. But I just think it's more about like the Chiefs taking another step back. We saw them get absolutely pummeled in that Super Bowl. They're getting older, man. Kelsey's got one foot in the grave, the other on a banana peel. I mean, they don't have any good weapons anymore, reliable weapons. We'll see what Rashee Rice looks like. Xavier Worthy still continues to be their gadget guy, but I just think this Broncos defense is for real. I mean, I think that's what it comes down to. Will it be a better defense than the Chargers? We'll see. They got a solid unit over there too. But I just think, Bo Nix, if he can take another step forward, he had one of the best rookie seasons we've seen, up there with Daniels and Herbert. But I just think the Chiefs' window's closing, man. So, I mean, they're right for the picking. Broncos almost beat them. They were a missed kick away from beating them in Arrowhead last year. So, I mean, it can go either way. I mean, the Raiders, like you said, they're going to be respectable. I just don't trust Geno Smith, and that's what that comes down to. But, yeah, I mean, I'll be taking the Broncos over for sure this year, and I might sprinkle a little bit on them to win the division. Who knows? We'll see.
There you go. And the Chargers might have been 2-0 against you guys, but you guys were just about, you were what, a left hand from being 2-0 against the Chiefs last year. So it should be a tight division, but I think you got a chance there. You got the coach quarterback combination, and that's huge. So, all right. Any other news stories in the NFL that I missed from this week? Anything buzzing? It's a slow time of year for football related podcasts because it's like, man, it's the guys throwing in shorts on air. Look at this awesome route, and it's like, okay, nobody's covering. Like, yes, he should make that throw right now. So everybody should look good at this time of year. But any other news stories that you missed or things before we move into it?
I mean, fantasy relevant. J.K. Dobbins visited the Broncos. Left without a deal. So we'll see. That could make things interesting because I'm pretty high on R.J. Harvey.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I think RJ is going to have a great year ahead. So, all right, let's. So we're going to go into part 5 of our Campus to Canton. We will get into even though our graphic kind of spoils it, but if you haven't been following along, we've done 4 previous episodes, kind of a who, what, where, why. This final episode is going to be the who, and then we're going to move into a 3-round sort of mini mock draft. Both in NFL and college. We'll kind of blast through it quick. So just giving you guys a taste of what a dynasty startup mock draft will look like. Is it for both of you guys? Is this your first Campus Canton league or you've played it before in this type of league?
No, it's my first for sure.
Okay,
this is my first.
Yeah, it's awesome. I excited for you guys, and it's an awesome. I mean, it's like similar to any fantasy football you've played before. But I love the college element of how it's kind of 2 teams. You get a chance to win. Hey, if your college team stinks, maybe your NFL team wins. Your NFL team stinks, maybe your college team wins. Like it's just a lot of fun. So if you haven't listened to the first 4 episodes, go ahead and check those out on Apple or Spotify, YouTube as well. But so we're going to get into the who. I don't have a whole lot here, but we're going to keep this pretty simple. My who is anyone can play in this league. Anyone can't play in the Couple of Beers Campus Canton League. We do have 3 spots left for that, and we'll share a little more in a bit. But anyone can play this. And one thing that came to mind is we've all probably played in home leagues where we've been with the same group of guys for 10, 15 plus years. And so I think anybody who plays fantasy football understands the concept of a home league. I think some home leagues might be skeptical to switch to a Campus of Canton because you're like, I love my draft. I love, you love the nostalgia of it. And so an idea I have to present out here to the fine people of X and YouTube is maybe you don't change your home league over to a full-blown, hey, we're no longer going to do our 10-man PPR redraft experience, because everybody loves the draft. But I have the idea of, hey, maybe you run a Campus Canton league alongside of your home league, try it for a year, see if you like it, and then switch over in a year from now. That way you still get the draft, and there's really no harm in doing it. Most people are playing in multiple leagues, probably too many leagues at this point for all of us. But let me see here. What else do I have? Also a shout out for, if we've talked to some people where it's like, I don't know much about college football. That's like a common thing. And some of the origins of this podcast was there's not as much information on college fantasy football. I think what we found is, though, that we don't want to just talk about college fantasy football because it's, I don't know, we love all of football. And so that's where we've expanded that. But you hear that from people at times where it's like, oh, I don't know as much about college fantasy football, so I don't want to play this type of league. I would just say give it a try. Even if you're not a college football Kirk Herbstreit aficionado level of fan, it made, and that's kind of where I was at. I liked college football. I grew up watching college football, but I'm a big NFL guy. Not as like Booker. If he was here, he'd be like, yeah, I'm the college football guy. Like he like Saturdays is his football day. He will watch some football Sunday, but he will watch sun up to sundown college football on Saturdays. I'm not quite that far committed, but I will say it made college football a lot more exciting for me last year. Having a team, having players to follow, start decisions, like all of those things just adds to the college football experience. So you're not just following, your Colorado Buffaloes, your Colorado State Rams. What's their
Rams? Yeah,
Rams.
yeah.
You're not just following like the specific team that you like, but hey, you're following guys all across the nation. And so I would just say again, if you're not a huge college football fan and that's your hindrance for wanting to play Campus Canton, I would say give it a shot. Maybe not convert your home leagues right away, but add it this year. Maybe do 2. You can do it. You can add to it, and then maybe in 2026 you change over fully. So without further ado, again, I should have had a second graphic to not spoil this little teaser here, but we've been talking about starting a sort of a listener league or a Campus Canton league, and we officially partnered up here with Crew Talk Sports. So go ahead and follow their podcast. A lot of great stuff that coming out of their account on X, also their podcast. Give them a listen. And we decided to partner up on this league, and we're going to have 2 divisions. We have a Crew Talk Sports division, and so if you're a listener of their podcast, if you're somehow listening to this, feel free to reach out to Evan, reach out to Trillo Bets, and let them know, hey, I'm a listener. I'd love to be a part of this league. Same thing for Sideline Podcast listeners. We have 3 spots left combined, so not like 3 for each side. We have 3. So we have 9 people right now. We're going to try and get it up to 12. And so if you'd like to play, this is a little bit of an announcement. You can leave a comment on this stream, and we will definitely respond. So
yeah, I believe we need 1 more for our side, maybe.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, but I gotta be methodical with this because I think you guys are pretty good at fantasy football. So I don't want to add. I don't just want to add whoever, right? I gotta have I gotta bring in some firepower. Because I've been known to make some pretty big mistakes in fantasy the last few years. Yeah. Hopefully I bounce back, but yes, excellent. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And we haven't really decided on like our Campus Canton league that we play in. We play for money. We haven't fully decided on this league, and maybe once we fill the league, we'll kind of take a vote on if we want to chip in some money for the winner. We could do a punishment. I thought about a podcast versus podcast wager, but then there's probably like, all right, we're only going to trade with like people in our division. So I don't necessarily want to get that route, but yeah, it would be an interesting little podcast versus podcast competition. I'm all about it.
Yeah, I like it. I think I talked to the guys and they're down to do a little buy-in. So whatever you guys are comfortable with, we could talk about it.
One thing I found is, man, I get worked up about a free league. And so like when things go awry, when money's on the line, like I I get way more fired up about it. And so I joined a free dynasty league about a month ago, and like things were happening. And I was just like losing my mind. I'm like, this is not supposed to happen. So anyway, not that I can contain myself, but that's one thing I found with money leagues is I'm like, oh, it doesn't do well for my mentals, but it is it does sweeten the pot. It keeps people committed of like, hey, even if it's not big money, you can win $50, $100 at the end of the year. That's a fun little thing. So we are going to start here with our mock draft. So let's try move that. Sweet. Maybe not. Bear with me here. Booker, we miss you. There we go. All righty. So we got 12 teams. And again, it's just the three of us. The nice thing with this, can everybody see that? Yeah, it looks like it's up there. There we go. So how this will work, Evan will lead us off. Pick one in the NFL. We're going to do 3 rounds just so this doesn't get too long-winded. Feel free to, share why you picked, who you picked, what your thoughts are. When we get into the college draft, it will flip. And so this is pretty common to Campus to Canton leagues. In college, Tyler will be our first pick. I'll stay in the middle because I'm in the middle. And then Evan will go to the turn. Another thing you'll see here is there's called a third round reverse, I think is what it is called. And so it just helps balance out if you have the turn pick. You're not just getting like, it helps make it more competitive that way. So at the end of the third round, Tyler will go or at the end of the second round, Tyler will go twice, and then back around we go. So in the college draft, when we get to that, it's going to be we pulled the graphic from the Campus to Canton page, and you can feel free to follow those guys as well at Campus to Canton. They're the OGs of this format, and so we've got some graphics from a mock draft that they did, and we're going to sort of use that graphic and just say, do we agree or do we disagree? Because we couldn't figure out a way to do this kind of sleeper action. So without further ado, we are going to, I guess I need to hit start here on this draft before Evan can make a selection. That sounds correct.
And this is super flex, right?
This is super flex. So we were kind of talking about it pre-show, but you probably want to go quarterback heavy, but different strategies. We kind of talked about that a couple of weeks ago of, I'd say pick a strategy and stick with it is a big thing. And not just like, we were talking some too of like, hey, I want to go college heavy or NFL heavy. I talked about how I wanted to go NFL heavy, and then I took a Justin Fields and a Garrett Wilson. I took like younger stars where like, if you want to win in the NFL this year, you might need to take older players, even though they're not going to stick with you for 10 years, where a Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson are great players to have, but they were more long-term thinking. Again, you're always going to, in any draft, I think we're weighing out the draft board, and hey, if there's a good value there, you're going to take it. You're at pick one here. You're just probably wrestling between these big dog quarterbacks, if I had to guess. So
right.
All right, I'm gonna hit start on this draft, and we should be live. And you got about 60 seconds. So
all right, this pick is easy for me, boys. I'm just gonna take Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels, Lamar Jackson right behind him. I just trust Josh Allen's durability way more than those two guys. So
yeah,
Josh Allen.
And I've seen a lot of people that might take Jaden Daniels with that pick because of the age, but Josh Allen's not that old. He's like 28. I think he'll be 29 this year. It's like we got another decade with the guy. So I'm kind of in that same pickle here. I'm guessing in our actual league, it would be interesting if I don't think Brock Bowers is going number 5, but we're going to play it how it lies. I'm an Eagles homer, so I want to go Jalen Hurts, but I think I got to go Lamar Jackson. He's just if you would have taken him 1 overall, I probably wouldn't have had any issue with that. He's so consistent, and you just can't go wrong. So I'm going to take. I'm trying to take. Yeah. Again, Tyler on the clock. I would say this only 5 quarterbacks is interesting, but that might be just where the position's at right now in the NFL. But what are you thinking here, Tyler, at 12?
And now, am I going back to the college? Is that correct?
No, you're in the NFL, so you should be in sleeper.
Okay, I got it. I'm there. I'm just making sure.
Yep,
because we talked about the going back and forth.
Yeah, we'll finish the NFL and then jump into the college.
Okay. And then it's still saying waiting to start on mine. So let me try to reset it here. I was wondering why.
Yeah, you got about 20 seconds left. We might just have to recap.
I mean, his auto pick wouldn't be terrible, right?
Yeah, you got CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb, okay.
You might get CeeDee Lamb, Pat Mahomes. There could be worse things in life. So
I'm trying to get mine to update.
That would actually be really fire, honestly.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb and Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, you got another 60 seconds to try and get in there. Technology is not always our friend.
It is not. It still says it's in pre-draft for some reason. But we'll see if it comes back for me.
Like I said, CeeDee Lamb, Pat Mahomes. I kind of like that start better than what I have at the start of the draft. So,
yeah. So I'm just trying to look off of here. There it goes. And yeah, I'm probably taking Pat Mahomes. I don't know how I can just pass up on him when he's sitting right there at this pick. Even though we have, another Broncos fan as part of this podcast, I still trust him, even with that stacked defense over there in Denver. And for the rest of the league, I mean, he's still going to get the Raiders. I don't know that the Raiders are there yet, as Evan mentioned earlier as well. And the Chargers, we'll see how that goes, as it kind of was lost a little few pieces there on the defensive side. So I think I will take Patrick Mahomes either way. Gentry is tempting there, honestly, but Patrick Mahomes would be the pick.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's still took it.
Oh, wow. No way. Hey, that's still a good. I'm still going to take it
because it's not bad. All right, I got Lamar Jackson. See, I don't like the quarterbacks here to go quarterback. Herbert's interesting. So in the league that Booker and I play, and we haven't decided on this, is like a tight end premium league. But even in that, Trey McBride in the second round, I don't like Kyler.
That's where you got to take him. That's where you got to take McBride. It's crazy.
You got to take McBride. Yeah.
I mean, he's a onesie, right? I mean, like you set it and forget it with McBride this year.
Yeah, we'll take him.
Oh, he talked you into it.
The nice thing here is this: our draft would be like 8-hour slow draft, most likely, and you can trade picks. And I was going ham on trading NFL draft picks last year, and so that is the difference on this, where you've got 47 seconds to decide, your dynasty pick. You would have a little bit more time, but we probably know where he's going with this one.
Yeah, I'm taking my Lord and Savior Bo Nix. Just go ahead and get that out of the way, and then so now I got to pick.
Well, so here's our third round reverse.
Oh, yeah.
Now reverse, Tyler, you're back on. Yep.
Okay, so it goes back to me. Okay, so oh man, I'm a Colts fan, and DJ Stroud is sitting right there, a couple picks down. Unfortunately, I think he has a bounce back year. And I don't know that I want to go with Hampton from the Chargers there. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to take CJ Stroud. It's what I got to do.
It's a good pick. Good pick. I think he bounces back this year.
Yeah. I was honestly considering there the second. It just felt a little early. Do we want to go longer than 3 rounds? We're at like 34 minutes in. I didn't want to get too much over an hour on the episode, but we could go to 5 rounds if you guys are good on time, or we could cut it at 3. Let's go to 5. Let's go through round 5 and okay. Let's see. Ladd McConkey, Bucky Irving. I'm kind of am a Travis Hunter hater, I guess. AJ Brown. Man, this is kind of gross. I guess I'm going to go Ladd McConkey, or AJ Brown would be my thing. People hate on AJ Brown because of the Eagles offense, but just check the numbers. All he does is produce. Yeah, he had a little bit of a down year last year, but he's been a top 10 wide receiver most of the years of his career, and he's always played in a run heavy defensive team. And so draft AJ Brown. Don't overthink it. He's a top 5 receiver.
The TDs are there.
I agree. This is pretty easy for me, man. I'm gonna go Garrett Wilson. I believe they have a quarterback upgrade there in New York. They got the chemistry from being at Ohio State. That's easy for me. He's young enough. He's wide receiver 1. I'm taking Garrett Wilson. And then, so this is where I might get a little tricky. I got Jonathan Taylor right there that I love. Kyron Williams, he's a beast. T. Higgins, he's nice. Just got the bag. Ooh, I got to take a running back here. I think I'm gonna go Jonathan Taylor.
It's a good pick. Good pick.
All right, back up. Got the wide receivers. I got 1 quarterback. I'm unsure about how I feel about Cam Ward. I know you guys on your last episode were pretty high on Cam Ward.
Oh, Trillo Betts is high on Cam Ward. Me, I don't know.
I'm a little. See, I like to draft. I'm drafting the team as much as the player, and I'm like, I don't trust the Titans, and so I don't know if I want to trust their players. I think I'm going to get my second quarterback here and go Baker Mayfield. Nice. Again, a super flex league. You're starting 2 quarterbacks every week, and so we had one guy in our league who had like 4 premium tight ends, and so he was putting a tight end in that super flex, but not a typical strategy you want to have.
My biggest thing right now is Tyler going to take another quarterback that's in his division.
I absolutely can't do it, and it's not that I trust Christian McCaffrey. After that, I don't know that he's going to be the same player. And I'm looking down this list, and yeah, Cam Ward versus Brock Purdy. I don't know that I love that. I do kind of like Cook out of Buffalo, and Brown out of Cincinnati. Derrick Henry is trying to get into an Adam Sandler movie by hitting 2,000 yards. So actually, that's the sneaky pick I'm going to go with here is actually Derrick Henry. I think I like him again with Lamar, and I think they continue to cook. So now after that, here we go again.
It's got to be Purdy, bro. It's got to be.
I think it does. I was comparing Purdy actually to McCarthy just because Kevin O'Connell in that offense, I believe, but Purdy most likely is the pick here. And I have to go with it.
I think he bounces back, bro. Too many weapons. Christian McCaffrey back. That's huge. That offense is gonna be humming.
How far Trevor Lawrence has fallen. Our startup draft was 2 or 3. I think it was 3 springs ago, and he was the top 6 pick at that time, and now we're in the 5th round, and he's still sitting here. So my strategy currently, let's see. I mean, I'm kind of trying to win now. When I look at Tyler's team, I'm like, okay, that's again, if you're thinking long term, Derrick Henry's not your guy. But if you're like, hey, I'm trying to compete this year, then that's the way to go. We see Evan, he's got Taylor Garrett, some quarterbacks. I probably need to go running back here. Let me see who we got on the board for running backs. Yeah, I'm going to go Christian McCaffrey. I'm like a dog with a bone with Christian McCaffrey.
You dog, dude. You dog.
I could go James Cook, but I got to go with my guy. Again, I regret it every year, but
hey, I'm gambling on him this year. If he falls to the 2nd round and I can snag him, I'm going to do it, dude. So you just got to grab Garendo later and you'll be fine.
Do you guys find yourself doing this? Like if you have a player in another league, you almost want to draft them. Like you want to recruit for the same players. I feel like I do that at times where I'm like, okay, I have him in my other campus league. So I'm going to try and will this to happen. But anyway, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. So we'll do one more pick here. Then we'll kind of recap where we're at and move over to college.
Okay. I'm panicking a little bit here, boys. Maybe grab a tight end.
Yeah, you can go tight end. Who we got on tight ends here? We got.
If you believe in Purdy, you believe in Kittle, right?
Yeah,
George Kittle. I mean, how old is he? 35. Let's win now. I'm in on Kittle.
All right, so let's pause it here and just kind of recap here. Any thoughts you have on? Let me make sure this whole draft board is visible on our live stream, which it is. So, yeah, which teams are we liking other than our own? We got team 2, 3, 4. We can feel free to chip in on them. Team Team 9 is interesting there with Gibbs, Barkley, Harrison. You got the Harrison Kyler stack. I think it's always advantageous to have that stack. I think you can chase it too intensely, but it does help. If Kyler throws a touchdown to Marv, you get double points on that. Where if he throws a touchdown to some random dude, you don't get that extra point. So there is some advantage to doing that if the draft value is right. But yeah, what do you guys see here?
I had that stack last year and I took 9th in my league. So I am so out on the Cardinals if it's not McBride. I will gamble on Harrison, but dude, Kyler, no, not doing it anymore because it's just he's the most inconsistent fantasy quarterback of all time.
Yeah, he got a max contract. It just blows my mind. It blows my mind. Yeah. How about you, Tyler? What are you seeing here on the board? Which team you like? Who's going to be winning it in year one?
So I actually like some of the points Team 8 is putting up there with A-Chain, Thomas. I know we're out on Trevor Lawrence, but Brian Thomas, it just gets open so quick, so fast down the field. A-Chain is going to be important in Miami. Loved Judkins coming out, and I think he'll play a big role early. We'll see how Walker goes there in Seattle, but I do see some touchdowns stacking up there on Team 8.
Yeah, the only thing I'm scared about is like you're not just drafting A-Chan, right? You're like you're not worried about his injury history, but it's Tua, dude. If Tua takes one hit, that offense does not work. Like it's just like I had A-Chan in one league last year, and he was great when Tua was healthy in the beginning of the year, but Tua goes down, dude, and it's like 11 points a game. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to trust those wide receivers in that running back room. Hopefully Tua can stay healthy. That would be a fucking game changer, but I'm with you, man. A-Chan, he's up there with Christian McCaffrey as far as gambles go in my book this year.
Yeah. And it's how risky do you want to get? Like I'm posting some like running back tiers on YouTube right now, and I think I had A-Chan at like 8 or 9. And he's the kind of guy where when he's healthy, he's ridiculously good. But that is a big if. It's like Christian McCaffrey. Like if you take Christian McCaffrey in the second round of redrafts and he plays 16, 17 games, like you're probably going to win your league.
Yeah.
But you draft him top 5 and he gets hurt, then you're just kicking yourself again. So very, very interesting stuff here. Team 7 would be very interesting there with going quarterback and then 4 straight wide receivers, but I don't hate it, honestly. Like you often hear in dynasty fantasy football, like young wide receivers is the key to winning consistently long term. They don't get hurt as often. Again, not necessarily full zero RB. I think you still need running backs to win championships, but long-term success, you need some stud wide receivers, which is a good transition to our college, which let me see what's I going to do this. Oh, this is back to our, going to go here, and then we're going to go here. There we go. Look at that. Smooth as butter. All right, so we're going to pivot now to our college. And Tyler, you are first on the clock. And how we're going to do this, again, this graphic is from Campus2Canton, at Campus2Canton. You can follow them. They have, especially if you're playing this format, they're the dudes with putting out the rankings. Like they put out so much information, so much quality information. And so give them a follow. They also have a podcast. They have all kinds of stuff. And so check it out at Campus2Canton on X and everywhere else. So this is their mock draft. We're going to sort of pontificate on their draft. We'll look at our draft position and, say, hey, I like Jeremiah Smith there, or I would have taken Ryan Williams or, that. So we were just talking about young wide receivers being the key. Again, this is Campus2Canton. So any of these guys are going to get drafted next year, they then move to your NFL team. And so that's sort of how it works. You can do the same thing in college. Hey, these are players that are going to win now. In the draft board, you will also see a lot of, like in a true draft board, you would see a whole lot of high-profile freshmen. But this year, a lot of these guys aren't a lot of freshmen, where I would say last year's draft was like a lot more freshmen. There was, because Jeremiah Smith, Cam Coleman, Ryan Williams, all these guys were just coming into the league. So not a lot of new people on this list. I think when we get into rounds 2 and 3, we'll see that. But yeah, go ahead, Tyler. What do you think? If you have the pick 101, are you taking Jeremiah Smith or you like somebody else?
I think you do stick with the pick there. Ohio State is going to probably be high powered on the offensive side again as well. So I'm going to expect some stats there. The Big Ten is becoming more competitive. It's kind of a wild time in college where the Big Ten is kind of the football conference right now. It's all coming from there. Of course, Notre Dame was in the championship as well with Ohio State. IU only lost to the two teams that were in the championship. So, but I still expect a lot of offense from Ohio State per usual. And I would definitely stick with the pick here with Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm going to pick 1-6. I just don't like Dylan Raiola or Nebraska for that main. So I definitely wouldn't be taking him there. They're not quite like you'd kind of mentioned it, but like your division rivals. Like, it's not that I wouldn't draft a Dallas Cowboy, but I don't want to cheer for those people. And so it'd be hard to, I'd probably be really bummed that Arch Manning went the pick before me if this was my draft. With these guys, I'm probably leaning, I'd probably go Nick Singleton, or honestly, I would go Bryce Underwood here. Not only it's a little bit risky compared to some of these other guys are more proven, but I think he's going to be a guy for Michigan. And I know he's got a little bit of a beer gut, but this is the couple of beers league. And let me go with Bryce Underwood at pick 106. So it's a little hard here now, but I guess you could say, hey, of any, obviously Raiola would still be on the board, and just assume who would fall there on pick 12.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not trusting Raiola, dude. I don't think he's gonna have any success in the NFL afterwards, but after college, he might still be a solid college quarterback. But I'm gonna go ahead and grab Jeremiah Love, running back, Notre Dame, absolute stud, went off last year. So that would be my pick at 12.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So then we'll put you back on the clock for the second round. And yeah.
All right. Let's see. I
can. Well, you probably wouldn't want to see round 3 at this pick, but there's your round 2 guys. We'll go back to round 1 if any of those guys are sticking out.
Yeah, I mean, like Drew Allar comes out, like he stands out to me. I think if he goes to the right place, he could be a solid quarterback if he's still there. That would probably be my pick. And what else do we got? We got the second round.
Yeah. So that's Drew Aller is going to be your second pick. Then I think it would be back to me.
Yeah. So Drew Aller. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to go second round here. I'm at the 2-6. I see Cedric Baxter. We got Wingo. Nico. I see the Nico Tennessee here. Sometimes, again, things on Fantrax, which is I'm sure what these guys are using, they don't update very fast. And so Nico is probably still showing up on the Fantrax app from Tennessee, but he is now playing for UCLA. I think that definitely hurts his stock a little bit. At the 2 pick, my 2-6, Wesco's interesting. I'd stick with Baxter. I like the value there. I think Texas is going to be good. Arch Manning is going to draw a lot of eyes to Texas for his NFL chances, and he's a really talented running back. I think he's got a little bit of injury history, but again, trust the talent, trust the offense, trust the coach. So
I like it.
All right, and then Tyler back on the clock, and then it will go third round reverse. I don't know if we might be mixed up on our third round reverse, but it's all right. Go ahead, Tyler, with two. Yeah.
Well, I mean, since we kind of went off target there, if Dante Moore is falling, or if you're continuing to pass on Nico, if either of those are still there, I think I pass on Wesco, and I'm looking at those two. Dante Moore there in Oregon, obviously another kind of high-powered offense. He's got elite arm talent and could start immediately if he does go on to the NFL there. So I think that's a strong pick there if he did continue to fall. And then Nico is going to be the dual threat, kind of the same what we're looking at in Indianapolis right now with AR, that dual threat ability, and then a huge ceiling. So, I would say either one of those, if they have fallen, that would be my picks there over Wesco.
Yeah. Oh, solid picks. So then we'll go back to Evan. Third round reverse would apply in college too. We've got Eric Singleton, Auburn. Fast forward there a little bit. Who you liking at 3?
Yeah, I feel like I got to grab a wide receiver. So see, looking at these names, man, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and go Carnell Tate, Ohio State. So, I mean, I'm a big guy that's off name value, right? Like if you got a strong name, you're gonna succeed. So Carnell Tate.
Yep.
That just sounds like a wide receiver right there, right, boys?
Yeah. And if you're an Ohio State or an LSU wide receiver, you're probably also gonna succeed. So let's see. Then it's to me at the 3-6. We've got Micah Hughes or Micah Hughes. Let's see. I took Baxter and I took a quarterback. Probably looking for like a wide receiver here. I like the receivers that went right before me. So, or wait, no, this is 3-1, so I could reach down. I'm probably not taking the running back out of Oregon. I honestly probably take Jordan Tyson or Zachariah Branch to Georgia's interesting. Transfer from USC. I think I take Jordan Tyson as he's going to put up numbers this year. I don't know what his NFL prospects look like, but if you're fielding a competitive NCAA team, I think Jordan Tyson is going to eat this year with Sam Leavitt. So that's who I'd take in the 3rd round. And then Tyler, right? Yeah, Tyler.
Then back to me.
So we got the 3rd, and then if you see anybody in the 4th here that you'd like to reach on.
I think I'd stay in the 3rd there. I think you got some options. Let's see here. Because I think I would like to go probably QB there. I mean, if Cade Klubnik did fall a little bit, I think there's some value to be had there. Otherwise, I do like that pick, Barian Brown, wide receiver out of LSU. Not that I'm big on LSU this year, but I think he could have some future prospects there in the NFL and provide some points from LSU standpoint.
Yeah, right on. Again, it will take, I would say, if you're going to play this format, it does take a little bit of research on, hey, who are these guys? Like most of these players, especially as we get later into the draft, you might not recognize. The nice thing on Fantrax, there is information on the players of if guys played last year, you can see what kind of stats they put up. You can see if they're a starter. I'm sort of a depth chart junkie in the sense of like, that's a lot of how I make my decisions is like, hey, where's this guy rank on the depth chart? Even the early season ones, you can get a lot of information from that of, hey, this guy's 3rd or 4th wide receiver at LSU. Okay, maybe he's not the guy I want to take this year, but he's an LSU wide receiver, so great long-term value. So again, it takes a little bit of effort, but it's really exciting to follow these players, and it makes the college football season a lot of fun when you're not only following football on Sundays and Mondays, but Saturdays just become really awesome. So I think that is all we got for this evening. We'll go back here. Let me pull up a few little final remarks. Again, thank you, fellas, for jumping on the podcast this evening to do a little mock draft, talk some sports with us. We didn't have anybody leaving comments. Feel free to get active. I know when we first started the podcast, I think when it's football season, people get a little more riled up than in the off season. They're probably like, I don't want to drop a comment. But when your team's scoring a touchdown or doing something crazy, then it's probably a little more active in the comments. But we love to interact with your comments. Both Booker and I are a little bit of squirrel personalities at times, so feel free to do that. Again, shoot us a DM, either myself or at Crew Talk Sports. And if you'd like one of those final 3 spots, we've got 3 more spots total. Again, hopefully 5 and 5 or 6 and 6. But if it's a little wonky, we'll make it work. So you can follow us on X at the TSP Community, and please subscribe on YouTube at the same. You can follow Crew Talk Sports at Crew Talk Sports, Trillo Bets, and EV Vinyls. And then follow Tyler at Mr. Diesel. Again, watch out, kiddos. If you're playing Mr. Diesel in whatever game you're playing, you might lose because that's a grown man Diesel there. So we found out that tonight. So again, thank you all for joining us. And until next time, have a good night.